Doctor, are you living the dream or just dreaming of living? It is my honor to announce the PDA 20th Anniversary Special Conference this September 12th to the 14th in Frisco, Texas, the nation's leading course on dental practice growth. If you feel isolated as a leader who is frustrated that your schedule is unproductive, maybe your team is disjointed, or your systems are inefficient, this is the conference for you. The PDA 20th Anniversary Conference has all new features, including keynote speaker Emmitt Smith, who is a Pro Football Hall of Fame running back and entrepreneur. You can choose your own educational track to customize your learning experience. Go to www.productivedentist.com and click the pop-up, or select Productive Dentist Academy Conference under the Dental CE and Events tab. That's www.productivedentist.com. Seating is limited. Register today, and we look forward to helping you make your dreams become reality.
I don't want to reinvent the wheel, although I've reinvented the wheel multiple times. I don't want to. What I want to do is find somebody who has done things that I would like to do.
Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Bruce B. Baird, and you're listening to the Productive Dentist Podcast. In this podcast, I will give you everything that I've learned over the last 40 years in dentistry, working with thousands of dentists. I'll tell you, it's not that my way is the only way. It's just one that has worked extremely well for me, and I'd love to share that with you, so you too can enjoy the choices and lifestyle that productivity allows. More time for things you love, increased pay, better team relationships, and lowered stress. Let's get into it with this week's episode of the Productive Dentist Podcast.
Hi, this is Dr. Bruce Baird with the Productive Dentist Podcast. Ignorance and arrogance are they're a terrible combination. You know, you can't explain to somebody who already thinks that they know everything. You can't explain even the simplest concepts. And so what I try to help doctors feel comfortable with is that, you know, we're just like you. I mean, we have dental practices. We're working in these practices. Things happen, you know, the good days, the bad days, and you know, we reach those same levels of frustration, but it's what we've done to solve those issues, what we've done to change those issues. And I really think that, you know, in hiring a coach, and to me, it's not hiring a coach. And it's something I've talked about at Productive Dentist Academy for a long time. I don't want to just hire some consultant who happens to have worked in a dental office at some point in their career, and they bring in everything that they knew in that one situation, that office they worked in for 25 years. And I've had 9 different consultants in my practice over the years. And what I'll say is I've had great consultants. They all have something to add. They all have something to give us some new ideas and new thoughts. You know, I've had, like I said, 9 different consulting groups come into my practice. And again, it was usually one person's idea, one person's thought process. And I always wanted Productive Dentist Academy coaching to be something that was more like a football team. And I've talked about this before, but really, when you hire a PDA, you're not just hiring one coach. You might have one that comes in the office and works with you personally, but we also bring in everybody on our team. So it's kind of like that football team. You have a quarterback coach, you have a defensive line coach, an offensive line, a wide receivers, linebackers, secondary. And so we bring 5, 6, 7 people who have all had massive amounts of experience over the last 18 years working within the environment of Productive Dentist Academy. What's so exciting is the results that we see, because every practice, you know, when we come into a practice and start working with you, all of a sudden we see, you know, this is better off for Carol, or this would, you know, Callie would be perfect for this, or this is the perfect situation for, you know, for whoever that has had the experience. So where you're having the issues, where you're having the problems, we actually bring in the specialists to work with you on that. Or having said that, you know, that's something that I've always wanted. We've gotten away from it at different times, but we're now probably more focused on that than anything else, is helping you from front to back, from, they always say, womb to tomb, from the beginning of your practice to the end of your practice. And we work with lots of young dentists. We work with dentists in mid-career, and we work with lots that my age, slowing down, trying to decide what they want to do for the rest of their life and where they want to, if they want to continue practicing, if they want to sell their practice and get the best value for it. Those are all the things that we kind of pride ourselves in, giving people options that they didn't know that they already had. I talked about that. Are you ready to sell your practice in the last couple of podcasts? But again, do you know your EBITDA? And who's figuring it for you? Is it the DSO that's coming to buy your practice, or is it somebody who knows you and knows your business and give you an accurate reading on that? So, what to me is, again, goes back to arrogance and ignorance. It's like, and ignorance is not being ignorant is not a bad word. It's just mean you don't know. But being arrogant means you don't want to listen to anybody else. And I just found through my career that I listen to just about anybody. I don't want to reinvent the wheel, although I've reinvented the wheel multiple times. I don't want to. What I want to do is find somebody who has done things that I would like to do, and then look to them as a mentor, look to them as somebody I can ask questions to. It's not about me trying to figure it out all by myself, which there's a lot of dentists out there, I must say, probably a majority, that figure it's, I'm a dentist and I went through all this schooling and, I should be able to do this on my own. Well, it's different when you're running a business, when you have team, when you have patience and communication and clinical skills. And you go down the list over and over again. And again, I've always wanted to find somebody. I can name, the people I've named in the past, the John Coistas, who clinically, I want to hear everything he has to say. The Mike Picos, I want to hear what Mike has to say. I want to hear what Carl Misch had to say when it came to implants. I wanted to hear, what Pat Allen was saying about connective tissue grafts. Why? Because once I listened to them and once I went to the course, I never thought about that particular procedure the same way ever again. And so it allowed me to expand my business. It allowed me to expand my thought process, in business. Early on with Paul Homley, listening to Paul talk about, the big implant cases, the docs weren't making the kind of money they thought they were making because of overhead. There's just so many people, Greg Stanley talking about business and investments. And I kind of go down that list, and these are people who I listened to very carefully, formulated my idea of their concept and how it fit me the best, how it fit my practice the best. And when I finally put it in play in the office, it was usually much smoother if I had gone through that process, gone through that thought process, gone through that talking with other dentists who have done the same thing that I'm attempting to do to get, better clinical results, to get a better team, to get, and I just see the same folks out there struggling over and over again every year because they listen, but they don't put that knowledge to work, and I always look at things, the 80-20 rule. Only 20% of the dentists out there are going to reach their potential. I hope you're one of the 20%. 80% are going to, get the Tony Robbins tapes and never listen to them. They're going to get the using other people's money for real estate and never buy any real estate. That's just human nature. That's what happens. But the 20%ers are the ones who get committed to improvement. They get committed to getting to know what's the best thing to do. And, David Phelps, another great guy, dentist, guy who came through PDA, who was teaching dentists financial freedom through real estate. So, and I've worked with Dave, so I want to constantly improve I got the opportunity for summer, my chairside for 20 plus years. I got a chance to go to her son's graduation party. He just graduated from high school, and they asked me to say a few words. And the one thing that I said that I wanted the kids to listen to, and I really want everyone to listen to, is you get out of school, you think, oh, well, my learning's over. I'm done. I can finally go to work and make money. Well, you can, but why not understand that life is a learning experience from the day you're born until the day you're gone. Yeah, I'm totally committed to learning new things. I've said this before, but Cynthia, my wife, said, "Why are you watching those tapes on printing and all this stuff?" Corey was doing these tapes, and I said, "Well, honey, I'm really interested in this." She goes, "Well, you're retiring." I said, "I'm not dying. I want to know what's out there." And I'm challenging you, if you're listening to this podcast, to step back and find out where you're headed. What things do you want to accomplish? That goes back to goal setting. We've talked about that multiple times. Go back and read some of those podcasts that we've done. But where do you want to go? Find people who've already gone there. Get to know them. One thing I've found to be true is that dentists who have become very successful in many different areas in dentistry, from business to clinical to across the board, are more than happy to help and share their experiences. The Mark Costas, the Gary Tackett's, these guys all share what they know. And what I'm going to implore each one of you to do is reach out. Get a team behind you. It takes the pressure off of you. No question about that. It takes pressure off of you. Doesn't add pressure to you. And if having a consultant or coach or whatever you want to call it is adding pressure to you, then you got the wrong coach. You need to find one that is empowering you, that is lifting you up, lifting your team up, giving you the information that you need to create your best life and your best practice. So those are my thoughts for today. I just heard those two words, arrogance and ignorance. And, I'm ignorant about a lot of things. And if I actually become aware of it, I want to find somebody who's really good at it and listen to them. But it's that arrogant doctor mentality that really gets a lot of us in trouble. And so think hard and hopefully find the right mentors, find the right coaches, and you're going to find yourself in a very successful business. And your life is going to be more fun. You're going to be more successful. Your family, you're going to be able to take care of them. And this is something that don't try to do it all on your own. So remember, arrogance and ignorance. All right. Talk to you next time.
Thank you for joining me for this episode of the Productive Dentist Podcast. If you found this episode helpful, make sure you subscribe. Pass it along to a friend. Give us a like on iTunes and Spotify, or drop me an email at podcast@productivedentist.com. Don't forget to check out other podcasts from the Productive Dentist Academy at productivedentistpodcast.com. Join me again next week for another episode of the Productive Dentist Podcast.